Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
The weekend is off to a rainy start. Showers and storms will come and go through the evening, but when will it clear up? Andrew's got the updated forecast.
I know many of you are shopping early right now. Some of you may be heading to popular sites like Facebook Marketplace. Before you shop, before you click, I have an important scam alert for you. It's coming up new tonight.
But we begin with breaking news in the abduction and sexual assault of a 9-year-old girl. The man arrested in that case just went before a judge. The charges coming the day after police announced an arrest in this case.
The girl was kidnapped Sunday afternoon in Farmington Hills, then taken to a home on Detroit's west side where officials believe she was assaulted and then escaped.
Grant Herms live in Farmington Hills tonight for us with the breaking developments that are in this case. Grant?
Well, good evening. We just stepped out from the press conference with the Farmington Hills Police Chief, the Detroit Police Chief, and the Oakland County Prosecutor. Now, 2 days ago, law enforcement said that they were closing in on a suspect. Yesterday, they said that he was arrested, and today we learned his name. He is 40-year-old Aaron Daniil McDonald. He is from Oak Park. He has been charged with 1 count of kidnapping, 3 criminal counts of sexual conduct with a minor, and 1 count of strangulation, and 1 count of torture, which in the state of Michigan is a life sentence if he is convicted. Now, he sat stoically for his arraignment today, only answering a single question when the judge asked him. His lawyer did attempt to have him released on bond or with an ankle monitor because he had a child on the way right now. The judge denied him bond. He will not be released. We also heard today that more than 20 search warrants have been executed in this, and they said that they found significant evidence of all kinds at this horrible crime scene in different locations even. We also heard from the police chiefs of both Farmington Hills and DPT, as well as the Oakland County Prosecutor. Take a listen.
There is no way to wrap our minds around this horrific crime. Our thoughts and our prayers remain with the victim and her family. But in the wake of this suspect's brutal abduction and sexual assault on this child, the Farmington Hills and Detroit communities and their citizens deserve this kind of exceptional police response and investigation.
I want to remind everyone that the defendant is innocent until proven guilty, and that there are ethical limits on what details we can disclose right now. We are here today, though, because of the courage and tenacity of a little girl. She's only 9 years old. She's not even 5 foot tall. She doesn't weigh 100 pounds. Despite what she endured, she stayed calm. She escaped, and she saved her own life, and she probably saved the lives of other children.
We also learned this afternoon that McDonald had a previous conviction where he spent 13 years in prison for another criminal sexual violence against a minor charge and conviction there. He was recently released on parole and just finished it up this year. Again, he is being held without bond right now. Back to you.
All right, Grant, thank you for the update.
All right. Storm Tracker 4 showing all sorts of rain moving around out there in southeast Michigan.
Yeah, there looks like there could be some breaks in this, but rain might be a factor for all that high school football out there. Andrew's tracking all of it for us tonight.
Well, Kimberly and Jason, you said it, all types of rain, from heavy rain to lighter and moderate rain. The lighter and moderate rain, that's over southeast Michigan. The heavier stuff, the thunderstorm activity, much of it is to our east and to our south. That being said, we still have wet conditions out there, so still be careful navigating some of those wet streets and wet sidewalks that are out there. Certainly bundle up as well. It's been chilly out there, or cooler than it has been for the past few days, barely breaking 60 degrees. You still see a break here in some of the rainfall that's occurring. Thunderstorms here in northwest Ohio that are skewed just to our east, but more moisture to our west as well. All this instability means wet and cool conditions as we go through the rest of the evening. It's 61 degrees right now with a wind out of the north-northeast at 8 miles per hour. We'll continue to see on and off light to moderate showers, the possibility of a little lightning here and there, then brief breaks between 7 p.m. and midnight, but then we're looking at more steady rain, widespread rain moving back in after midnight. It will affect Saturday morning. But what about Saturday afternoon? More on that, your weekend forecast, and more about a tornado that touched down yesterday here in southeast Michigan in minutes.
Andrew, thank you. Now turning our attention to the coronavirus. The state reports more than 8,200 new cases over the past 2 days. That's an estimated daily average of about 4,100. That's down slightly, though, from Wednesday. We've seen 104 additional deaths, 58 are from a records review. Those who received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine are one step closer to being able to get a booster. The FDA's advisory committee voted in favor of recommending a booster dose for everyone age 18 and up at least 2 months after their first dose.
We do have 19 out of 19 unanimous yes votes.
Unanimous support for a booster dose, but it came after a day of tough questions for J&J. The company argued while its initial effectiveness is lower than the mRNA vaccines, it remains steady and a booster will increase it.
We have seen in our randomized controlled trials efficacy against severe disease of 74%, efficacy against any disease of 70%. There's clearly room to improve that.
The FDA fired back.
There are data that suggest the effectiveness of this vaccine is actually less robust than the company's presentation here. And that is a finding of concern.
The Janssen vaccine was only 68% effective against hospitalization. And this is in adults greater than 18 years of age without immunocompromising conditions.
Many on the expert panel argued J&J should actually be a 2-dose vaccine.
I think this, frankly, was always a 2-dose vaccine. I think it's better as a 2-dose vaccine. It'd be hard to recommend this as a single-dose vaccine.
Others pointed to the advantage of J&J around the globe.
It is important to remember that there are many people who cannot get vaccines at all, and this one can go places and do things and is highly effective.
There is still lingering concern, though, about a risk of a rare blood clot problem occurring primarily in younger women. No cases were seen in those who received a J&J booster. The FDA and CDC still need to give their approval to J&J boosters, and there's another factor to consider, too. Coming up at 6, we'll look at new research on the potential benefits of mixing and matching booster doses and whether that might soon be a possibility.
Disappointment tonight for State Representative Jewel Jones. He and his defense team tried to restore bond so he could go home. It didn't happen, though. Local 4's Rod Maloney has the reason why and a look at where this case is now headed.
Michigan State Representative Jewel Jones back in court today. Both of his cases, one having to do with resisting arrest and alleged drunk driving, and then another one having to do with a handcuff key, have been merged into one. But he's been behind bars for the past 34 days, and he wanted out of jail.
And it didn't happen. Judge Michael Hattie saying he wanted to err on the side of caution.
The erratic behavior that was found and violating the court's orders twice lead me to believe I'm putting in this defendant position of violating again.
Jones' new attorney, Byron Nolan, saying his client needs to address issues surrounding alcohol abuse.
I think he could benefit from counseling.
Jones' initial arrest came after a Michigan State police call to an accident on I-96, an SUV in a ditch near Lansing.
Right now, I want your ID and your driver's license.
For all the media attention stemming from Jones' lack of cooperation with officers that day, his invoking the governor's name and telling officers he controlled state police funding, Nolan says the entire case should be thrown out because an arrest shouldn't have even happened.
Jewel Jones was standing behind the ambulance talking to an EMS worker. So at that point, when he asked him for his ID and he didn't give it to him, he arrested him. Well, can you arrest somebody for not showing their ID? And that's really what the question that the judge has to answer.
Jones showed disappointment when the bond ruling came in, and Lansing state business moves on without him. He's missed 34 votes so far.
His community or his residents, like myself, would like for him to be on the job and representing us. He's not doing me any good being locked up in Livingston County Jail.
So next up for Jewel Jones is a motions hearing on November 4th, where they're going to ask the judge to throw out the case. We'll certainly be there. Reporting live, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, Rod. Kim?
There are positive reports coming out of UCI Medical Center in California, where former President Bill Clinton has been getting treatment since Tuesday evening. We're learning Mr. Clinton is recovering from a urinary tract infection and sepsis. NBC's Steve Patterson has more from Orange, California.
Yeah, here's the scenario. The former president in the hospital in UCI being monitored. We're told that he's conscious, that he's been up, he's been walking around, interacting with staff, maybe even making jokes inside there. So obviously he's doing well and starting to recover. And the former president here for a Clinton Foundation event a few days ago. It was Tuesday night when he started to feel sick, started to feel some fatigue with friends in Orange County, taken to the hospital, checked out. They diagnosed him with a urological illness, which then developed further into something more serious in the bloodstream. Doctors have been working on him since then. He's since had an IV drip with antibiotics, with fluids that his body has been adjusting to and taking in very well. So the prognosis from doctors here is that he's expected to recover and expected to be home pretty soon. There is some worry with the president's former history of heart conditions, but by all accounts, from the medical professionals here to his own medical team back in New York, everybody's expecting that he will recover and he will be back home sometime within the next few hours, if not days. Back to you.
In other news tonight, the gunman accused in the deadly shooting spree in Parkland, Florida, will plead guilty to murder. Lawyers for Nicholas Cruz confirmed the news today in court as the 23-year-old pleaded guilty to charges stemming from a fight with a prison guard in a separate case. Next week, Cruz will also plead guilty to 17 counts of first-degree murder in the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. This was back in 2018. Prosecutors are expected to argue for the death penalty.
A 6-year-old boy is dead after a crash in Monroe County. This all happened around 10:15 last night in Ashe Township. State police say a 27-year-old man from Laken Park lost control of his truck and overturned in a ditch. They say the child was thrown from that truck, killing him. The driver is in the hospital. Investigators believe speed and alcohol factored into that crash.
Fully vaccinated international visitors can start traveling to the U.S. on November 8th. The White House says the move relaxes current bans, which have been in place since March 2020. The new guidelines apply to the nation's air, land, and sea borders. A White House official says more details are coming soon about very limited exceptions. The CDC has said vaccines accepted for air travel include those approved for use in the U.S. and those with an emergency use listing from the World Health Organization.
Still to come, the numbers just don't add up when it comes to the 2020 census. Ahead, who seems to be missing by the thousands and why that could be very costly.
And here's Hank.
Shipping delays and product shortages, I know it's a big concern, and it's why so many of you are hopping online right now. Maybe you're already starting your holiday shopping, but it's here on the web where scammers are trying to track you down. I'm going to have what you need to know to stay safe when you shop tonight.